old Ford Fusion. It has a ton of miles on it, and Leela just got rear-ended. That was almost $3,000 worth of damage. So the question is, how many miles do you think it has on it? And is it possible to make this old car look kind of cool? Let's go see what the mileage is. Holy heck, 237,000 miles? I think it's time for a new car. Oh, here's what that head's gonna look like. You're about to learn how to do this. Step one for an epic car edit video with speed ramps is you gotta film the car. And this isn't a tutorial on how to film it, but let me give you a couple quick tips. The most important thing is to keep the camera stable when you are filming. It doesn't matter if you're using a phone, which has good image stabilization built into it, or a GoPro, which has even better image stabilization, or if you're even using a gimbal, which can help with the stabilization. The footage has to be even, not shaky. If it's shaky, it's not gonna work. It's gonna look terrible. How do you do that? Well, you make sure that the stabilization is on for your camera or GoPro, crank it all the way up. And then when you are filming, you wanna keep something in the center and you want to ninja walk. Normally we walk like this, you know? Boom, you're up and down like that. Ninja walk, you roll your feet so you're not bouncing, and also the camera stays stable like that. And what you want to do is stay centered on something. Let me show an example. An example of staying centered, here I centered on the taillight and I just slowly ninja walked backwards with the gimbal, and it's still not perfect, but this is close enough. There are an unlimited number of shots you can get. Use your creativity, watch some other videos online for some ideas, but one thing you can do is just walk around the whole car. Like here, I just walked around the whole car and that gives me a lot of different options. Another thing you want to keep in mind is you want to always be moving in the same direction. If you're going left to right, everything should be left to right, right to left, everything right to left. You can mix and match, but when things flow, when the left motion continues or the right motion continues, it looks way better. Or you can also do pull-ins or pull-backs, and if you just do several of those in a row, it just kind of flows. So you want to think about that stuff in advance and in your edit and match shots. And if things are backwards, like, oh, I accidentally went right or I went left instead, you can simply reverse the clip so you can go the other direction. If you're going forward and you want to go backwards, you can reverse that in Capcut as well. Other kinds of shots to consider are starting low, like in this shot here, and then going up high and panning down. Makes a cool kind of effect. Or starting high and going low, or going from one feature to another, going from like a logo, an emblem, to a headlight, and always with very smooth motion. The next thing to consider are your camera settings. If this part is going to be over your head, don't worry about it. Just go with the automatic mode and it'll still work okay. But if you want to get it dialed in really well, I would suggest to start out, this isn't a rule, this is what's a good starting point, 60 frames a second, and your shutter speed should be double that. So at 60, your shutter speed is going to be 1/25. 120 is not an option, 1/25 is the closest thing. So 60 frames a second, 1/25 on the shutter speed, and your ISO you can set to automatic so it compensates. Now if it's a bright day, that's not going to work really well because the ISO won't be able to get low enough, so you might want to use an ND filter. If those things don't make sense to you, don't worry about it, just put it on automatic. As far as editing, we should set the timeline to 30 frames a second, and that 60 frames a second that we filmed at will give us the ability to slow stuff down, which makes things more even because it's almost impossible to make it perfectly stable, even with stabilization on and ninja walking and gimbals. It's not going to be perfect. Slowing it down makes it much smoother. So you can follow along and practice doing this. I have included all the clips we're using in this video linked below for you to download. Next, you want to select your music. You can use anything you want, but ideally you want something with some beats and some bass drops and stuff. So you can go into Capcut and you can search and find some music here and just type in, bass drops or beats or something. I had hard bass, cinematic trap, this stuff. Those kind of keywords will allow you to find music that will work. Find something you like. For me, I like a little better music. Capcut has a lot of great music, but I use Epidemic Sound, which is this right here, for music on my travel channel and when I'm adding music to my videos. Epidemic Sound is great. I've got a link for that down below. And I found a song we're going to use for this video. This video is not sponsored by Epidemic Sound. I just like them. So if you want to try them and have next level music that most of the top creators are using, There's a link down below. This is the song from Epidemic Sound that I chose for this. So you want to choose a section of the music that works, and you want it to be able to start well and end well. And this section I'm going to show you right now is something I did in Hollywood every single day when I was making commercials for Marvel and Disney, and it's trying to find the right part of the music to use and have it end so it doesn't just fade out. Beginners, play the beginning of the music. When it gets to the end, you just fade it out. Very, very beginner. This is pro level music editing I'm going to show you right now. As I look through this song, I can see right here that there's a little bit of a rise and then there's a strong beat hit. So I want to like kind of start slow and then bam, start with a beat. So I'm just going to start with that section here. Sounds like this. So really good to cut to, and I'm just going to trim it here by typing the letter Q and dragging this back. And the thing is, I only need 8 or 9 seconds, and 8 or 9 seconds in is... That's not an ending. There's an ending over here, though. It ends intentionally. What if I could add that ending to this and have it sound super smooth? Let's go ahead and increase this track height a little bit so we can see what's going on here. And I'm just going to take the end and see if something happens to line up. I'm going to hit Command B on my keyboard to take that. And I'm going to get rid of all of this stuff here. And I'm going to type Shift Z on my keyboard in order to zoom in and see things better. I've only got a few seconds of this clip. Let me just stretch it out a little bit and let's listen and see if there's anything similar near the beginning and the end. So let's listen here. And let's see about the ending. Whoa, same exact thing, right? And you can usually see it. Let's go ahead and stack these on top of each other and try to find out where that lined up. And I think it might be, I don't know, right there. Let's back it up and just look. You can just look at the waveforms and go, oh, that lines up pretty perfectly. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit more so you can see what's going on here. And anywhere in here I could line it up. And I just put my playhead over a section where I want to line things up and zoom in a little more. And I could just slide this over a little more. And I'm going to bet that this is going to line up perfectly. So I could cut it anywhere here. I'll just cut them both right here. Hit Command B. I'm going to delete this and put this on this track. I'm that confident it's going to work. And let's see how that works. And we got 7.5 seconds worth, a little bit of a fade out there. Bam, I'm going to delete that. Let's see if this sounds like a good music edit with a good start and a good ending. That was perfect. Before we finish this up and I give you my final tips for making an epic car edit video, you should know that if you like how I teach, you can get more of me in my course, Edit with Trev and Master CapCut. Version 2 just dropped. It includes all of CapCut's recent updates. And in this course, over the course of over 10 hours, I teach you everything you need to know about CapCut. Once you finish this course and implement it, you'll know more than 99% of the people on YouTube about editing. It's going to make you a beast and make your content blow up. So check it out. It's linked below or also up here or here. Next, we gotta edit the clips, do the speed ramps. There are a million ways you can do this. This is what I think is the easiest way to do speed ramps for a car edit. So I'm just going to take these clips of my antique Ford Fusion and I put them in order for you. You get all of them, again, linked down below. This is how I chose to do them. You can do these in any order you want. So let's just take this first one and remember that we want a little bit of a ramp up here before it hits. And when it hits, I want a speed ramp to start. So I'm going to choose the section of this clip that I want to use. What you want to do is find a smooth beginning, a smooth ending where there's no real jumps or glitches in the middle. So let's go ahead and have a look. I'm going to turn this sound off so I don't hear this. And let's see. So you see in the beginning, it's like moving around. I got to wait till it's stable and locked. Right there, it's start. If you go one frame at a time, you can see that it's starting to pull back. And you always want to start filming close and back up, not far away and close. Your focus is going to stay locked better if you start close and back up. If you need it to go the other way, you can just reverse it here in CapCut. So I'm going to start my edit right there. I'm going to hit Q. And I'm going to back up to here until it starts to, yeah, see it started to go up there. Don't want that. That's too, not great. So I'm just going to hit W to trim it right there where it starts to go up. And this is the section I want to use. Remember that this timeline is at 30 frames per second and this video clip is at 60 frames a second. So if we slow it down, it'll be even smoother in the beginning. So, I mean, this is pretty smooth here, but it could be a little smoother still if we just slow it down. So I'm going to start, I don't know, maybe right here. I'm going to make an edit here and I'm going to slow this clip down. I'm going to turn off the track magnet to slow this clip down and make sure it's highlighted. I'm going to jump under speed and I'm going to drag it down to 0.50. So it'll be at exactly half speed. 0.50, you can see right right there, 0.5. So that's going in slow motion. So this clip is slow motion, and I want this to line up with this. So I'm just going to trim the front off of that, and I'm going to line it up with this edit right here, and I'm going to line the tail of this clip right here on the beat where the beat drops. So I'm going to just drag it right there and then drag it forward. So the music will slowly ramp up here, and then on that beat we'll have the speed ramp happen. But I want to be able to know where all these beats are. So here's another thing you can do in Capcut. I'm going to make a compound clip out of these two music clips so that Capcut can find the beats and see them as one clip. So I'll hit create compound clip here, or hit Option G. Then I can go up here to these auto mark beats and choose beats 2. And hey, look at that. It added markers where all the beats are, and that's where all the speed ramps are going to happen. So this guy needs to go forward a tiny bit so it lines up exactly. And I'll pull this back a little bit here. So we've got this going at 50% speed. And then here, if I bring it up, we'll see it's going at normal speed. But we want it to go much faster. We want it to go poof and zoom out to there really quickly. How do we do that? I simply click on this clip. I go to speed. Now, I can make it go faster or slower. I can speed it way up. I can slow it way down like that, which is great. You can do that for a lot of things. But we want it to speed ramp in, slow down, and then speed ramp out, kind of like bullet time. So if you make sure the clip is highlighted in the timeline, you select curve, we have this bullet curve already built in. If I click on that, I can see what it does. It's going to start here. This is actually at 5x speed, and then it's going to gradually slow down to 50% and then go up to 5x speed again. But that's not ideal. We want it to be 10x at the top. So I'm just going to click this guy and grab this to 10x. And this just means that the clip will play at 10 times the normal speed. And we want it to stay at that 10x. So I'm just going to drag that guy up. And we want it to slow down to 0.5, slow motion, look cool. And then we want it to resume 10x. So I'm going to drag this keyframe up all the way up to 10. And here I want this to end at 10. This is actually another keyframe, just an arrow because it's the last one. So if we play this, it'll go 10x, slow down, then 10x speeding out. Let's see how this looks. Slows down, speeds back up. Pretty good. One thing I did notice that it is a little bit wobbly here still. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of stabilization to it. I'm going to click on video. I'm going to go to stabilize. You got to be careful. If it stabilizes it too much, it can get kind of warpy and look kind of weird. So you got to look and see if it works. It takes a second to stabilize. We have a few levels. We can choose most stable, minimum, or recommended. What it does is it pushes in a little bit, so it zooms in a little bit, so it can adjust it so everything's stable and it's not moving. So whenever you stabilize something, whether it's on your camera or on your computer, it is going to zoom in a tiny bit on your image. And the more you stabilize, the more it's going to zoom in. Same on the computer as the camera. And let's see if that helped at all. I think that helped a little bit. We'll just leave it right there. Now, next, we want to make this fit into this space between the beats so that every time there's a beat, we're going to have a speed ramp going in, out, in, out, in, out, every one of those. How do I do that? I need to right-click on this and make it into a compound clip so I can apply another speed change to it. So I'll hit Create Compound Clip, and I'm going to jump up to speed. And when speed is selected, I'll go ahead and click on standard. We don't need a curve now. We just want to speed this up a little bit. When speed is selected, speed, standard, you have these little handles here so I can drag it. If I just have video selected, notice those handles go away. I'm just going to be shortening the clip if I do that. But what I want to do is adjust the speed so it fits. And Capcut makes this super easy. I think this is easier than DaVinci or Premiere or anything else. With these handles selected, I just simply click and drag it back to that marker, and then we have something that will speed up and speed out. And with the music, it looks like this. Bam, looks great. And we just did that with the other clips. And I made it easy for you because all the clips are in order. You can do whatever you want, but let's do one more of these and then I'll just do the rest by myself. But you're just gonna do the same thing for every clip. Now let's add the second clip, which is this one, Fusion 2. I'm gonna drag it in the timeline. I'm gonna turn the audio off so it doesn't get in the way. I'm gonna find the smooth section, the section I wanna use. I'm gonna start here right before it starts to pull back. So I'm gonna hit the letter Q to get rid of all that stuff at the top. And then I'm gonna go down to here. Oh, that guy. I moved kind of a lot there, so I'm only going to go to there, I think. Type the letter W, going to select speed, select curve, select bullet, drag this keyframe to 10, drag this keyframe to 10. These are already at 0.5, drag this one up to 10. Sometimes they split, and drag this last one to 10. And bam, we have it going fast, slow, and then fast again. And that looks like this. And yeah, that worked. And this one is pretty close. It almost fit because of the shorter clip to begin with. But what we can do is same thing. Right click, choose create compound clip. And since speed's already selected, you have these handles. Let me zoom in a little more so you can see what's going on. And we're just going to drag this back to here. And then we'll test it with the music. That looks really good to me. One thing we could do is add stabilization here. It kind of okay without it, but it might be a little better with it. So I'll just click on video stabilize and I'll just go with recommended and let that process. Now I'm just going to do the same exact thing for these next few clips. So if you missed it, just rewind and watch what I did and do exactly the same thing with the next clips. All right, I finished up the edit. It looks like this in my timeline. I'm going to hit Shift Z so you can see the entire timeline. And we're also going to do something that will allow this to play back more smoothly. This is 4K footage. It's got a bunch of effects on it. It needs to be rendered first. Rendered means it figures out what to do before you hit play. So it's just going to play a file as if it's just a video file. So it's basically, it's kind of like doing an internal export. Render all of this. We just right click on any of the clips, scroll down to the bottom and choose whole timeline. And watch as it renders it. You see this blue line right there. It's rendering the whole thing. So when it plays it, it doesn't have to think and it will play back more smoothly. And anytime something isn't playing well, this is one of the things you can do to help it play more smoothly. But wait, there's more. To make this look a little better, let's add a little bit of a look to it. Let's jump up to filters and choose one that's bright and colory, because I filmed this on a dark, dreary day. It was kind of depressing out, so let's make it look a little bit better. How about this one called, I don't know, there's one called Summer that I like, so I'm just going to type Summer. Summer something. Hi, Summer. How about Summer Vibe? That looks great. So I'm going to drag Summer Vibe down here and stretch it out. And let's see, that looks a little bit better, right? And what do we have to do before we play it? We just gave it one more thing to think about. It has to think, how do I play the next frame with Summer Vibe on it? So we're going to right click on any clip, go to render, choose whole timeline, watch that blue bar go across, and now we play it, it's going to play smoothly. So let's see what this looks like right now. What'd you think? Did I make my old car look kind of cool? Let me know in the comments. For the 5 edits that every pro editor uses in every single video that will completely level up your videos, you want to click on this video right here. And dude, get my course. It's dope.